I grew up in a military town, waiting on the sky to fall. Sorry, one more for me. Sorry. It was like a debris from a Cobb salad that decided to shift on me there. I grew up in a military town, waiting on the sky to fall. Everybody I knew hanging around, wondering what to do when the draft board called. Looking back, it must have been a miracle now I ever grew up at all. There was a song about a military town, waiting on the sky to fall. Waiting on the sky to fall, boys. Waiting on the sky to fall. Chicken Little wasn't making nothing but noise. Waiting on the sky to fall. Hey. Spent a lonely lifetime rolling down the line, searching for the Holy Grail. Never once crossed my solitary mind any such consecrated quest to fail. Come up on an ocean and much to my chagrin, they told me that ship had sailed. Walking on the water 'cause I never learned to swim, searching for the Holy Grail. Searching for the Holy Grail, friends, searching for the Holy Grail. Been across an ocean, now I'm back again, searching for the Holy Grail. Hey. I've been around to know a little bit now, and I'm sorry. Been around enough to know a little bit now. I'm sitting on top of the world, banging on the guitar while the sun goes down, singing a song about a red-headed girl. When the days are done, I'm living in another world. Didn't know I was gonna live this long. Now I'm sitting on top of the world, sitting on top of the world, friends, sitting on top of the world. Eyes wide open till the messenger calls, sitting on top of the world. Yeah, the odd lyrical glitch, but I think that's the first time I've ever sung that song for anybody. This is made this record in most of it in November in 5 days in LA. There was one track that was recorded before the others, for which we'll talk about in a minute. But T-Bone Burnett produced it. Who's we've known each other for a long time, but been sort of circling each other, and decided that it was time to. Actually, I decided it was time to do it at Hardly Strictly Bluegrass in San Francisco last year. I was watching T-Bone playing with Alison Krauss and Robert Plant, and Elvis Costello and I decided that we were only semi-famous, and the poser deck was completely full on the stage, so there was no room for us up there. And we were trying to get where we could actually see the show, and we snuck out into the audience. And I was just watching T-Bone play guitar with that band, with some friends of mine are in that band anyway, and decided that that's what I wanted to do. So I started writing songs and sending them to T-Bone, and it took a while, but we got it together. And the record's called I'll Never Get Out of This World Alive, which is the title of a Hank Williams song that's not on the record unless you download it from iTunes, which is like, and then there's also a vinyl-only version of it. We used to make records for girls, and now we make them for nerds, and it's like, so it gets really, really complicated. It's like, but this is kind of the song you're most likely to hear on the handful of radio stations that actually play me. I love you with all my heart, all my soul, every part of me. It's all I can do to mark where you start and where I end, you see. I've labored long in my travails, left a trail of tears behind me. Been in love so many times, never thought this kind would ever find me. I love you with everything, all my weakness, all my strength. I can't promise anything except that my last breath will bear your name. And when I'm gone, they'll sing a song about a lonely fool who wandered around the world and back again, but in the end he finally found her. I love you with all my heart, all my soul, and every part of me. Across the universe I'll spin until the end, and then I wonder if we should get another chance. Could I have that dance forever under a double moon and scarlet stars shining down on where you are? And I love you with all my heart, all my soul, and every part of me. Thanks. So this is the cussing and tuning part. I'm involved in a television show called Treme. That's Treme, just like it sounds if you're French. And my character in Treme doesn't require that much acting either, but I play sort of me if I'd never gotten a record deal. I play a busker, a street singer. In New Orleans, there's kind of two kinds of street performers. There's traditional street performers that do, jazz, and there's there are non-traditional buskers, and there was sort of a dust-up about that in the 80s. I knew a couple of guys that did that sang in New Orleans, because these guys aren't homeless people. They're professional musicians. They just happen to sing on the street for tips, and it gets into hundreds of dollars a day, and sometimes more than that on the weekends on the right corners. So they're competitive for those corners, just like people are competitive for other corners where other things are sold. And some of the traditional musicians back in the 80s got upset because guys were coming in, that looked more like me, and they were playing country stuff and folk stuff and Bob Dylan songs. And they it's getting close. They finally, there was some heads got busted over it, and this is like the early to mid 80s. And it was because of a good thing. There was a resurgence in traditional music, so younger kids were starting to play, trombone and trumpet and cornet, but some of them were gangsters, and they protected their corners. And so an agreement was reached where the non-traditional buskers got, as long as they had to stay out of Jackson Square was the main thing, and they got Royal Street. And since then, Frenchman Street's kind of come along as a place where there's a lot of clubs and places people stay on the corners, and Frenchman Street's kind of wide open. It's sort of, it's kind of Amsterdam. I was asked, I'm out shooting in the quarter, just playing a street performer, and David Simon came out of the pit. The writers are usually writing all day, and we don't see them very much. And He pulled me aside and he asked me to write a song that my character would have written in '05, right after the storm. So it's I got it the next day. I had off because I'm not at my salary on the show. It's sometimes cheaper to keep me in New Orleans for a day than it is to fly me home and back. So they kept me the next day. So I wrote the song the next day because I do my homework at this point in my life. And I wrote this and I sent it out to David and T-Bone, and T-Bone and I decided we were going to record it for my record. It's also on the Treme soundtrack, and it's called "The City." This city won't wash away. This city won't ever drown. Blood and water and hell to pay. Sky tear open, pain rain down. Doesn't matter, come what may. I ain't ever gonna leave this town. This city won't wash away. This city won't ever drown. Ain't the river or the wind to blame. Everybody around here knows nothing holding back Pontchartrain except for prayer and promises gold. We just carry on digging our graves in solid marble above the ground. Maybe our bones will wash away, but this city will never drown. Hey! This city won't ever die, just as long as the heart beats strong. Like a second line stepping high, raising hell as we roll along. Gentilly to the Vucare, lower 9 Central City uptown, singing Giacomo Finale. This city won't ever drown. Doesn't matter, 'cause there ain't no way I'm ever gonna leave this town. This city won't wash away. This city won't ever drown. Thanks. Thank you. That's 3, right?